What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our Week 3 Team Builder here in the PTL. This week, we are taking on Stibe, who is also undefeated. Less differential points than us, but still. He's the coach of the AC Milotic because he is the pink team, which is kind of cool. I kind of find it funny that he's the coach of the AC Milotic, and I sniped Milotic. I think I might have sniped Milotic from him. I think he might have been considering Milotic, which would have been really, really cool if he was, and I got it. Ha ha ha. Funny story is, I'm not even bringing Milotic against him. Even more funny. Ha ha ha. But, have I actually done that yet? I did bring my red mon against SFJ, so that's a thing. But so far I haven't brought I didn't bring my brown mon against Marcelo, and I'm not bringing my pink mon against Stibe. It's not a pattern I'm planning, I swear. But his team's very, very scary and very, very strong and really, really hard to prep for and beat. But hopefully, maybe I can pull it off. I've beaten Stibe before, so maybe I can do it again. But his team consists of Diancie, which can be Mega, Beware, Latios, which is one of his Z users, Nidoqueen, Mimikyu, Blossom, Sneasel, Landorus Therian, which could be a Z user, Aerodactyl, which can be his Mega, Ferrothorn, Volcarona, and Slowking. First off, looking at my team, if I'm going to say he's going to bring anything at all, he's definitely bringing Mega Arrow over Diancie. Just my personal opinion, I think he brings Mega Arrow over Mega Diancie because Mawile is very good against it. Weavile can beat Mega Diancie pretty easily. If he brings Mega Diancie, I think that's a definite mistake on his part. That's just me. Also, Weavile has a God tier game this week. A really God tier matchup. Like, it's really, really hard to see where things can go wrong for Weavile this week. I can actually see a lot of ways where it goes wrong, but hey, that's just me. I am a pessimistic person. But nonetheless, I think we have a good matchup this week. So hopefully we can pull it off. But definitely see that coming. I could definitely see if he's going to bring a Z user, it's going to probably be Lando. But there's, plenty of... Like, he's got good options with team. His team building is always really, really good. I've watched a bunch of his videos since back in Fella, and he's really, really solid overall when it comes to building. And even playing. Like, his playing is always fantastic. So, we definitely have... This is probably going to be one of our toughest tests for the season. But first member we're going to be bringing this week is Flytrap House, our Mega Mawile. I just feel Mega Mawile has a great matchup this week and very, very few switch-ins on his team. Play Rough, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, and Knockoff. This pretty much covers a lot of what his switch-ins could be. For example, the Ice Fang handles the potential for a Lando T switch-in. If I can hit that thing 4 times effective with an Ice Fang, even after the Intimidate, mind you, this thing still hits like a truck, and the Ice Fang can do a significantly crazy amount of damage depending on his spread, so that can be very, very useful. So that's cool. That'd be really cool. Fire Fang is there for the Ferrothorn. Could really potentially help me break through that thing. I do have a few other options of breaking through it, but this is probably one of my better ones. And then Play Rough because it's stab and it hits everything else really hard. The only things on his team that this doesn't hit hard is Volcarona kind of, but Volcarona is not super bulky. I'm gonna have to try to be careful with that because I don't want to get the Flame Body on me. That would really suck. The Nidoqueen, which I have other things to take care of, and the Ferrothorn, which I have the Fire Fang. So, other than that, everything else gets hit really hard by the Play Rough. I'm speed creeping I have the 84 speed investment to speed creep. What am I speed creeping? I think Beware? I think mid-speed Beware, if he brings like a bulky, maybe an AV Beware or something along those lines, I can speed creep that. And just having the speed creep is not a bad thing at all. Like, I'd rather be speed crept than get speed crept, or do the speed creeping instead of get speed crept, or whatever is the best way to say that. But this thing just doesn't have many switch-ins, and I have the knockoff because it's just a safe thing to click. Like early game, if I end up in a good situation, I can click knockoff and either get massive damage on whatever's in front of me if they decide to not switch, or I'm able to knock the item off of whatever decides to come in. And truth be told, like, out of his if he brings Latias, it's not as safe as he usually go into. He can't really switch in safely into Diancie, and he doesn't want to switch into Aerodactyl on this either. So it's a very safe move to click, because I think he more than likely, outside of Lando, whatever he's switching in on this is going to have an item on it, and it's going to take a shit ton of damage. Or if it's Mimikyu, I can break its disguise immediately, which is even better. So I ran this thing with max HP and mostly Spadef investment because of the fact that he does have Mega Diancie, though, and Latias and Nidoqueen and a lot of things that hit very hard on the special side. So, yeah, that's just an option that I have. This thing can do a lot of work for me if I can get it going. So hopefully it works. Next up, we have Ron Weasley, the Weavile. Knockoff Ice Shard, Brick Break, and Metal Claw with the Titanium Z. Max attack, enough speed, outspeed a Sneasel, a max speed Sneasel, and then the rest are spooned into HP. Knockoff, just standard, hits everything and knocks off items on shit. Does a lot of damage to most things. We have Ice Shard because he does have a lot of ice weaknesses on his team, which is really, really important. He has Latias, he has Nidoqueen, he has Lando, he has Aerodactyl. You know, all these things can easily be cleaned up on late game, which is very, very important because if I can preserve Weavile right, I can just clean it, just Ice Shard clean at the end and not worry about speed. Like, this does a significant amount of damage without a damage boost, and this does significant amounts to 90% of his team. We have Brick Break for the Sneasel, and the Titanium Z is there because of Ferrothorn. If I end up in a situation where I can maybe catch Ferrothorn with a Brick Break on the switch, and he's taken enough damage, I can maybe get a Titanium off and break through it and kill it. Or if I can get rid of a Chople Berry on it and fire off a Titanium and break through it, that'd be great. I thought about running Z Focus Punch, but that would require not having Metal Claw. And the only reason I have Metal Claw, even though I don't think he's bringing Mega Diancie, I think he brings Mega Arrow. The only reason I have Metal Claw is because it does OHKO Mega Diancie, depending on his spread. But like it's Mega Diancie, it's going to take some chip here and there. It's probably going to take some chip at some point. And then I can just OHKO it straight up with Metal Claw if he doesn't have like a defense boost from something. So that's really, really good. I'm really, really happy with Weavile this week. I think Weavile can do a lot of work for me. The cool thing about Metal Claw, too, actually, it does have a 10% chance to raise my attack stat by 1. So if I can get lucky and get that attack boost, oh boy, it's time to go in on somebody. Yeet. But yeah, that's our Ron Weasley there. Next up, we have your boy Zerk. And we're bringing a very interesting Zerk set this week. And I say interesting because it's sort of bulky, but sort of not. But also really cool. Because we have Thunderbolt, HP Ice, Dazzling Gleam, and Magnet Rise. The Magnet Rise is because out of all the things on his team, like the things that would regularly switch into us are like Lando T, Ferrothorn, and Nidoqueen. Two of those mons are in fact ground types that like to fire off ground type moves. If I can get off a Magnet Rise, because I sped crept the Nidoqueen. If I can get off a Magnet Rise, I am no longer threatened by them. And then, in the case of Nidoqueen, it has to hit me with one of its other coverage moves, right? So I can potentially 2 KO with HP Ice depending on its spread, yada yada yada. If the Lando will then have to either go for a setup move, or it will have to pop its Z if it has it to try and take me out, which could work really well in my favor, because if I can get him to waste his Z move straight out on Zerk, that could be great. And depending on what the Z move is, he might not even kill. So, and then I could pop my Mago Berry, get me back up to like 60 to 70% of my health, and I can still beat that thing with an HP Ice, and then I can start, sweepy sweep with Zerk, which would be awesome. The only downside to this set is it's kind of walled by Ferrothorn, so I'd have to try to get rid of Ferrothorn before this comes out, but for the most part, it's pretty solid, and I think it can do some work this week. Dazzling Gleam's there to hit the Beware, the Latias, the Sneasel, etc. But for the most part, I'm going to be clicking Thunderbolt and HP Ice, which is great, because this mon's awesome. This mon's just awesome. I love Circuitry. He put in so much work last week, I had to bring him again. And I just like this set. It's very different. So, see what happens. Next up, we have Ripster, our Garchomp, running a Choice Scarf this week. This is our way of preventing us from being swept by Volcarona, because Volcarona's a cunt. Simple as that. Volcarona is a cunt. If you don't have the proper things to beat a Volcarona, you lose to a Volcarona. So that's why I'm Scarfed. I'm just faster than base 100, so I'm going to be faster than that thing. Which is good. I have the Rock Slide to Oko that, because fuck Volcarona. It doesn't like being hit by a rock. You squish bugs with rocks. That's what I like to do. We also have the Earthquake. Earthquake is good for the Diancie, good for the Nidoqueen, and pretty much everything else on his team. It does have a decent amount of immunities to it between Arrow, Lando, and Lottie, but I'm not too worried about it because I have HP Ice. I'm actually running a Naive Nature with no special attack investment, but without the special attack investment, I actually, depending on his spread, if he's an offensive spread especially, I can potentially 2-KO with the HP Ice. Like if I see that Lando is a regular switch-in, whenever I bring in Chomp, I can go for the HP Ice, or if he's in range, I can go for the HP Ice and kill him off, and then he can just be like, whoa, HP Ice Garchomp, that's dope. And he can give me like super props for that, and Stibe can be a nice guy and say nice things about me. That'd be great. And then we just have Dragon Claw, so we can, hit the Lottie and just have another stab move to click on things. Now we're going to have to be careful about Sneasel because of the Ice Shard. We're going to have to be careful about things that are just careful about that. Careful about Scarf Lottie in general. If he's Scarf Lottie or Scarf Sneasel, that could be annoying, but other than that, I feel pretty confident with this set. Next up, we have Superslep, the Uxie, coming in hot. Just with a mixed defensive set, more physically defensive than anything because of Sneasel and Mimikyu, to put it lightly, to keep it simple. Stealth Rock, Psychic, HP Fire, and U-Turn. U-Turn could be useful because if they think I might be going for a Psychic or setting up rocks, I can hit like an incoming Sneasel if he's trying to be really cheeky and Pursuit Trap me. Haha, bitch. Even if he does get in and potentially has the potential to Pursuit Trap me, I do have the Colbur, so I can actually U-turn directly on him and not worry, which would be great. I can safely U-turn on the Sneasel and get a massive amount of damage off on it, which would be really great. I have the HP Fire just like so I can have something else to hit the Ferrothorn. I can 1v1 the Ferrothorn with this, which is good. The rocks are going to be hugely important in this match, just to get the chip on things like Lando and Arrow. Potentially keep Volcarona at bay if he brings it, and shit like that. Just chip damage is nice. So hopefully I can get those up. And Psychic just stab, so we can click Psychic on things. So yeah, that is Superslep. Very simple, very straightforward set. Nothing too crazy, but it should be very useful. Last up, we have Arcanine, the Arcanine. Our first time bringing this mon, and it has some potential this week. I'll say that much. Its spread's kind of weird, I will say. It's a different spread. I am running Assault Vest, but I have a minus SpDef nature. The Assault Vest kind of cancels out the minus to the SpDef, so like it's not like a huge difference. Like it still can take a special hit plenty well enough, and like this is also like a pseudo thing to kind of stop a Volcarona sweep. Kind of, maybe. It can still eat a hit. We have Flamethrower, Wild Charge, Iron Head, and HP Ice. We have Flamethrower because Flamethrower will hurt the Beware a lot because of its fluffy ability. It'll hit the Beware very hard through its fluffy ability. It'll hit the Blossom, the Sneasel, and the Ferrothorn. I feel like he'll probably be more physically defensive, if anything, because of my team. So I feel like Flamethrower is a better bet there. I have the Wild Charge because he has Slowking, and Slowking is a good switch into this mon because it's a water type and this is a fire type, so having Wild Charge to hit the water type switching into the fire type is nice. So yeah, it's a thing. We have Iron Head because maybe he'll switch into Diancie. So yeah, we have Iron Head to potentially hit Diancie. If we've intimidated it, maybe I can feel a little bit safe about it, unless it's a fully special set. But then we're also Assault Vest, so we might be able to take a hit, and then we can just hit it with an Iron Head and make it dead. And lastly, we have the HP Ice, because Lando could also be a switch into this, and we can hit it with the HP Ice. We have everything that we need to hit all of our switch-ins, all the things that could switch into us. The cool thing about this is, too, we are actually faster than Lando T. So if he outspeeds us at all ever, we will know that he is Choice Scarfed, which is very, very important information to have for the game. So yeah, let's see what we can do there. But that's gonna be it for this team builder. I'm sorry I was a little bit off near the end there. I was trying to answer a text message and I just didn't feel like stopping the recording on the last mon. But if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you have not already. And the battle will be going up tomorrow. So, till then, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.